she moved to Poland, and we are
Yeah,
continuing this video.
yeah, the saga continues.
We looked at the parts, and I made an executive decision that other parts suck, so we are only doing this part right
Yeah.
now.
By
Homeschool
the way, I don't
parents are
remember anything.
I mean, you don't need to remember anything.
Sure.
not
School
qualified to be
parents are not
teachers.
qualified to be teachers.
Well, obviously.
Yes, unless you're a teacher. If it's not your job, then yes, you're not qualified. Like, there's a saying that parents cannot be teachers in Turkish.
Yeah, and I think that is the same situation for every country, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely, because you cannot be objective. Like, that's your children. That's your, not children, that's your child. Sure, yeah, maybe you want to like do some nice things for him, but when it comes to education, okay, education is education. It's like you do it in a certain way. You have to do it in a certain way to like facilitate. Oh my
Facilitate.
God, facilitate the education process of the children or child, whatever. And if you like twitch or like put something in it a little bit, it just corrupts it. So parenting, being a teacher and at the same time parenting, if you can separate them, sure, but I don't think it's possible.
One person.
What I immediately jumped
Cue, let's go.
to is at higher levels of education. I think in elementary school, I mean, we have an elementary school teacher here. Obviously, they're qualified for that. But once you get up to middle school, high school,
Are they though? Are they though?
What?
He said they are qualified to be elementary school teachers. I don't
I mean, no, I don't know, to like every part of child's, how can I say, development process, like when you go to an education program, whatever, at university, they taught you that there's a window for every part of our learning life, whatever, like between ages. So as a foreign language teacher, actually we studied all of them. We must, because we teach all the ages. So for me, no, like you need to know what you should do for each and every age. I don't know. Do your research, people. Yeah,
And there are so many subjects to cover.
true.
And I'm assuming the parent is gonna have a job too. They have a job and they are trying to teach them different subjects. I don't think that's gonna happen very
Yeah.
well, I should say.
the topics start getting a lot harder, and you really do have to specialize in the field you're going to teach. Like, when I was in high school, even like sophomore, junior year, my mom stopped being able to help me with homework for most of my classes, and she's been a teacher for the last 30 years. Math, English, social studies, history, it's just not her sweet spot. And that's from a lifelong learner, a lifelong educator. She would not have been able to handle those topics. And that doesn't even begin to talk about electives. Like, who's gonna do better? A homeschooling parent that's doing their best, or someone who is teaching graphic design who has worked as a graphic designer for 30 years?
I think I really would just want to start by saying that everyone is qualified to learn the profession, but I think immediately coming into it, maybe not so much. I don't know personally if there's any training processes or classes that they have to go through.
Teaching certification is not required. Likewise, if parents are homeschooling through a PSP, certification is not required. See? That's what I mean when I said do your research. Okay, we take courses at university, so we did our research, I would say, but you didn't as a parent, so I don't know, study, then teach your children, child, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they can study the subjects, but like I said, they are probably working as well. They also
Mm-hmm.
have a job. Are they gonna
I'm not
both
just talking
study?
about subjects. Like, for example, one of our BA classes was that how to teach English to young learners,
Yeah.
or I don't know, child psychology, for
Mhm.
example. So you also, I think, not should, you must study that too to better help your child. Like, yeah, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's why we got those lessons, courses, whatever.
Yeah,
So we wouldn't suck at teaching.
true. By the way, even if we like finished our BA or whatever license, after
Mhm.
that, like for 2 years, we are not real teachers. We are like, how do you call it?
Interns.
For interns, yeah, because you need the experience.
Yeah,
Like, theoretical knowledge is nothing in teaching, basically.
theoretical. Yeah.
It's nothing. You
And
need experience.
at the last year, you are literally an intern. You are going to your university and you are teaching at a school 6 hours a week, I think.
Yeah, 6 hours a week.
And after you graduate, and if you get into a government school, you get
Hmm.
1 year internship. But if you don't fuck up big time, you're gonna get the job.
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes in Turkey.
Yeah, that's how it goes in Turkey. And after you get the, a full-time job, you get the
Mm.
full benefits of being like a 3 year teacher. Well, they don't know what they are, so I don't think I'm gonna go into it more.
No, we don't need to. We just wanted to make an example.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Through or tests that have to be taken. But as a public school teacher, I have my CBEST, my CSET, the RECA, all of these exams, all of these observations, tests, everything. It's a very strenuous process, especially in California, in order to be an educator. And for a parent to just kind of go and say, I'm going to do all of these things for my one child, my whatever, X amount of children,
My
is
one and only.
just interesting to me, really.
Okay, let's see.
I feel like this is such an insanely generic prompt, which is why I didn't like either agree or disagree, because there are homeschool parents who aren't well qualified. There are public school teachers who aren't well qualified. For my experience, though, it was a bit different because I was homeschooled
Okay,
by my
I
parents.
want to say something. The public school teachers are not looking like they're qualified because they hate their job. They don't want to do it, that's why. Like they don't fucking care,
Yeah,
basically.
probably. Underpaid, overworked.
Yep, yep. I would be like that too, for
Uh,
sure.
and parents are coming on to you. It's like
Mm-hmm.
swarms. Thankfully,
Oh
I'm in the
God.
backwater of Turkey. When was it? I've been a teacher for this is my 5th year,
Mhm.
and I only talked to a parent last year at
And it was
the,
like 5 minutes.
yeah, at the parent school teacher parent conference. That's when I talked to some parents.
Yeah.
But this year I still haven't talked to anybody. No, I talked to one parent,
Yeah.
but she's also working at the school.
So that doesn't count.
Yeah, and I'm not counting emergencies
Mm-hmm. Of course.
because we had an earthquake last week. So some parents
Oh.
obviously called me.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna tell you the other day.
Yeah, I was
I
nearly going to
told you
die.
I am forgetting something. You remember?
There was an earthquake. Hmm.
No, I told you I am forgetting something. You remember?
Yeah, you forgot a fucking earthquake. Uh,
I mean, one of
whatever.
the closer cities got the actual earthquake. I didn't even
Yeah,
feel it. Some
I think I
kids
heard it
felt
in
it.
the news.
I think some kids felt it and some teachers, but I talked to one of the teachers. He said he didn't feel anything.
Well, yeah, that's why I didn't call you, because when I looked at the news, like it was, yeah, it was a nearby city, but like it was,
Yeah.
the magnitude was not that great.
No, it was still big, but it's not like
Yeah,
gonna reach to my city.
yeah,
It wasn't that big.
exactly.
Yeah, the parents called me. They asked about their kids
Mhm.
and stuff. But like I said, that has nothing to do with what I'm teaching. That's why I'm not counting those.
Yeah, so he still doesn't like his job,
Yeah, I
but
know.
because he's not burned out, like he's teaching.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I have a lot of free time
Hmm.
right now.
So that's how teachers should be. That's how
Mhm.
should we treat our teachers.
Don't get me wrong, if I was working 30 hours a week, you remember
Mhm.
how I was
Yeah,
when
I
I had
do.
those situations. I had this big fucking headache at the end of the year, and it only started when I went into the school.
It was like PTSD,
The,
right?
yeah, the last 2 weeks, I would go into the school, my head would start to pain me,
Yeah.
and
Pain.
migraine would start in my head. And after I left the school, it would be gone.
Yeah. Now think this. This plus two, like two times this, and that's a normal teacher and underpaid.
Yeah,
Guess the enthusiasm we are feeling.
enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. Thank you.
Mhm.
We are feeling. Yeah.
And you are doing a master on language, masters on language.
Masters on language and technology. Yeah.
So yeah, there is language on that.
True.
Up until junior high, high school, but even though they were still like my educators, as it got into the hardest subjects like, calculus, chemistry, stuff like that, I started doing online classes. But it's still considered like, cyber schooling, kind of like what everyone was doing during the COVID pandemic. So I had actual like professors going on like Zoom calls. We used something called Adobe Connect before Zoom existed. And I was being educated through them with, like my mom just pretty much checking in to make sure I'm getting all my work done, stuff like that. But it was still like a homeschool environment, except I was getting taught by specialists that weren't my parents. Because, as you said earlier, like it's hard to educate your child in the harder subjects, especially if they're not specializing in that kind of thing.
So you would agree it was not your homeschool parent that was teaching you? Up to that point.
They were teaching me some of my curriculum,
Right.
but I was also getting taught by people that specialize in a certain subject.
Right, because they weren't qualified
Yes,
to that.
and they knew that. They knew that, and that's why they enrolled me into online classes.
Yeah, I wanted to add, that's the reason I didn't come and sit down. And it is because, some of them are educated, and wouldn't it be wonderful if all homeschool parents were educators?
Yeah, not everybody
But
is.
the realistic thing about, they're not. Not all of. We have such great homeschool parents representing homeschool, but in reality, that's not the case. We have quite a few parents who say, "Oh, I'm just going to keep my kid at home and I'm going to teach them," and their reasoning is not
That red
because some of
shirt
the
man's
reasons
angry.
you have.
I can see it. The one who is wearing a red shirt, the old man, he's angry. The body
Really?
language shows it. Yeah. And he was tapping his knees, like, or
Really?
feet, I don't know.
Let me look.
Yeah.
And their reasoning is not because some of the reasons you
Yeah.
have. It's because they want to shelter
No.
representing homeschool. But in reality,
Right.
that's not the case. We have quite a few parents who say,
See?
"Oh, I'm just going to keep my kid at
See?
home and I'm going to teach them." And their reasoning is not because some of the reasons you have. It's because they want to shelter them. Oh, there's drugs in the schools. Oh, there's bullies in the schools. And so they're keeping them at home, and they're homeschooling them when they're really not. You know, I
Life is a
applaud
fucking
the
bully.
people on the
What?
Life is a fucking bully. Get used to it, kid. Come on. Come on. Get tough.
Yeah, let's shield them from everybody so they don't get hurt.
Yeah.
That's how I should
Poor
prepare
little
my
kid.
child for life.
I don't
panel.
want to say that, but sometimes you need bullies, like, for growing up as a human being. You
Bring
need to
back
learn how to
bullying,
put up
damn
with
it.
them. Yeah.
That's the Gundam's motto. Bring back bullying.
No, but real, you know, let's face it, you're not credentialed in chemistry and physics and biology, whereas I feel like homeschool teachers are kind of channeled in the one area that they may be strong in. I know there's curriculum out there and they can go get that information and they can work with their kids, but why not have it within their school? The kids are getting it firsthand from that teacher, not necessarily the curriculum.
If qualified teachers was the solution, all the schools would be putting out great students, but they're not. There's a different game in play. My wife basically thought of herself as the
I am so
chief
sorry,
learning.
but not everything is teacher's fault. Oh my God. I just got triggered. I hate, okay, I don't think he's the same mentality as I'm thinking right now, but there is a mentality in parents that thinking, okay, their child is a pure angel. Like they can do anything. They
They
cannot do
can
anything
do no
wrong.
wrong. They
Yeah,
only do
yeah.
everything right.
Yeah, it's always schools or teachers' fault.
Yup.
I'm not saying he's thinking like that, but something he said triggered me.
No, not my Johnny. He's a sweet little angel. Ma'am, I caught your son eating Play-Doh.
And he was chewing them, spitting them out to the girl next to him. Poor little Johnny. He didn't get to
Yeah,
eat the whole
it's my
Play-Doh.
fault that he spit Play-Doh to the girl next to him. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry, man.
By the way, some of you might think things like that doesn't happen. They do.
Bruh. Bruh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for the most part, it's the kid who doesn't study is in the fault.
True.
I'm sorry, I can teach you, I can show you anything, but if you don't study, that's on you.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do about that at that point.
At least I can talk in case of language learning. Language learning is like riding a bicycle. If you don't ride it enough, you will forget it. You need to ride it regularly and not let it go. Yeah. If your bike just stays in your basement, you will not ride it. You will forget it, and that's it.
And then it's gonna get rusty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my bike in the balcony.
Officer of our home school. And our goal was to cause them to learn. It wasn't tabula rasa thinking that we've got to put it in their brain, but more education. We draw it out. And so what we're trying to do is invite the kids to learn to be their own teachers. You taught yourself a lot of this stuff with or without your parents or whatever, because you had to get in.
A lot of self-discipline was involved.
Yeah, and you had to figure it out. That's
Yeah, and most kids don't have that. What the
Please.
fuck can I do
Okay.
at that point?
Yeah. Okay, think about a teenager, okay? You open a computer in front of him or her, them, whatever. Will they study or will they
Play
open YouTube
games,
and
watch
play
YouTube
games?
videos.
Yeah, yeah. Which one?
It's part of it.
I think that's a huge misconception about public
Yes.
schools is that we don't teach them to learn. We just fill them
No,
with
I was
facts.
responding to what she actually said, because the game is, if you're not qualified as parents and all, you can't teach them, they can't exceed you. All of our kids exceeded us.
Yeah, you were right. He was angry.
Every
Yeah.
one of them. Not through that, but through wrestling with the material and learning.
But it's not only qualifications in the like facts in your knowledge, in your mind. It's qualification in how to teach, how to do these things. If you've spent 20 years learning how to teach and actually practicing that, you're gonna be better at teaching
Maybe,
kids how to
maybe
learn.
not.
Going into
What?
My fault. Yes, old man. Yes. You're right. I'm not going to even argue, like, yeah, sure. Go with that.
He
Super.
turned into the woman next to him.
I was thinking from the start of the video, now I remember. The old man was more aggressive than the woman next to him. But he was
the-
just like a little bit more soft-spoken.
But the woman was way more annoying. Oh, I think it's like 10 seconds.
following instinct over education. I think kind of what Fred was speaking to was a more militant style of education where teacher speaking,
I don't
students
wanna be-
listen and
yes.
notes. Just speaking towards what he had said. But as someone who is still actively in the classroom, students are leading conversations all the time. If a student has a thought that not even I thought of, but it's something that would expand the conversation. Let's talk more about that. Why did you think that? I'm not pushing my own narrative into these students. They're able to build and cultivate their own style of learning, and they're able to kind of discuss that with their peers.
Yeah, that was. I don't remember the video's name.
Are homeschool kids smarter?
No. Are they stupider? No.
No.
Are they getting better education? No. Are they getting worse education? Yes.
I mean,
That's
it
my
depends
point of
on
view.
which public school are we talking about, but in general, kids need to socialize. Humans need to socialize. And we learn a lot from around, like, we just learn when we go outside. You get it? Like, if our parents cannot do that for us, like, expose us to, I don't know, what's outside properly. I'm saying, like, okay, I went outside. Oh, there's sun. Then go back. No, that's stupid. Like, he's looking at the sun, then like a vampire, he's thinking, no, not that. But yeah, as a parent or parents, whatever, let's say two people, I think it's hard to do your child's full-on education by yourself. So education is just not like one thing that you do and it's done. No, it's complex, unfortunately. That's why there's a lot of kinds of teachers or kinds of schools, I don't know, or kinds of programs. If you feel like you can take this on for your child, then be my guest.
That's it from us. Bye.
And